Right, okay, here we go. Video number 4. This genuinely one of my favourite moments in games of all time. Not necessarily my favourite game, but I just love this moment. I think it's really cool. This video started life when I was still writing for thisisxbox.com. Sorry, I just realised that in the first commentary I was sort of a little bit like, oh, I don't want to say the names of the people I've written for. Yeah, one of them's thisisxbox.com. Whatever, who cares? When I was writing features for them, this Great Levels thing was an idea I had, and I thought I'd definitely want to do one for Jedi Knight, and so I actually got in touch with one of the cool project leads, Kevin Schilder, and he never got back to me, and I just sort of thought, oh, it doesn't matter. I didn't write the article anyway, but then when it came time to do this video, I was like, alright, cool, let's... Yeah, I didn't have a script ready, but I still just sort of thought, yeah, I know what I'm talking about, let's just do it, and I did the video, put it up, and then I started work on my What Makes a Good Boss Battle video, and I can't remember if it was before or after that got put up, but then Kevin Schilder actually got in touch with me, and he was sort of like, oh yeah, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to ignore you earlier, I've just been really busy, if you still need help with your article, I'd love to help you out. And I was like, I just made the video, I think, now I think about it, I think this was after What Makes a Good Boss Battle. And I made the video, and I'll send you the link to it. And then all of a sudden I was sort of actually quite nervous because I couldn't remember. I see a couple of negative things about it, and I was sort of like sending them this video about it. But it's still quite flattering. But then like a day later, he got back in touch. He was just sort of, and he was just very flattering about it. It didn't go much further than that. He was just sort of like, oh, that took me back. Oh yeah, I completely. What you say is pretty much true. That was the mindset we went into with. And he actually went back for my benefit and was like looking through his old notes, and he started like sharing them with me over emails, and just sort of being like, yeah, those were the initial thoughts we had about how we wanted to get the story across and such. Show don't tell, all that good stuff. And I was, every so often I would be asking, like, this could actually make an interesting video. Would you mind, like, talking to me on Skype? And he gave me what, in the industry and in the dating world, the ladies know about this, like, what is known as the soft no. He never said no. He just didn't ever answer me. Like, the final email I sent him, I was sort of like, would you like to talk about it over Skype? I asked him, like, 2 or 3 times. Failing that, would it be okay if I shared these emails? And he was like, yeah, you can share the emails, you're deliberately not answering the other question. And I never did actually get him to sharing the emails. It's not much point. I mean, they'd be interesting enough, but what avenue would I share them through Twitter? It wouldn't make a good YouTube video. And so yeah, I maybe should have read them here. Actually, you know what I'll do? In the comment section to this, I'll copy and paste the emails I had back and forth with them, or maybe not all of them. I may just put in the relevant details. And so yeah, that was just quite a cool, interesting thing that came off it. It's a few times now, people that have made a game that I've done a video about have gotten in touch, and this was the first time. For my 4th video, this video, even by today's standards, I think it's got 4-digit views. But anyway, yeah, it was just quite a cool thing that happened. Right, now, I should probably talk about the actual video itself. Right, now, for the first time since the boss battle one, just a standard intro, not terrible. It's fine, I quite like that opening shot, and then it cuts to a spaceship for some reason, put some music over the top so you don't get bored. And, yeah. I actually think the opening lines I use are sort of similar to the opening text scroll. Let me just quickly check that. Yeah, it's a time of relative peace, and my opening line is things start out relatively normal for Kyle Katarn. Something interesting that did happen, I mentioned in my stories and open world games video that I was self-conscious about my voice, and for the most part I don't really mind, but for this video, for some reason, when I first did the audio, actually, I don't think I have any spare. I think I delete them. The mindset I usually go with, if you remember, is speak clearly and speak fast. For this video, for some reason, I only spoke clearly, and for my first draft, it was just the most boring thing. My voice was... I don't even think I was. I don't think I was being too harsh on myself. I think my voice was just sorry, that's just my pen clicking. Just in case you're wondering, my voice was incredibly boring. So I re-recorded the entire thing, like trying to sound a bit faster. Like the bit here, if I can find it, where I say Jan, your partner. Like that there, it sounded fine, but the first time I recorded it, I was like, and you go find Jan, your partner. I was just so slow and boring, and I remember sort of thinking, like, usually what happens is that I'll do a script, I'll record it, then during the editing process I'll be like, oh, I need to re-record that, oh, I need to re-record this bit, but for this video it was happening so often, I just sort of realised I need to re-record this entire thing, so I did. I had so many re-records I had to do, I figured I'll just take the script and I'll just do it again. Yeah, gosh, I just genuinely really like this moment. The first time I played it, I was so scared and confused. I was still relatively new to games, I suppose, but I just didn't know, like, what am I supposed to be losing this? Wait, what's going on? Why can't I? And then when it fades to black and you see Kyle Katarn falling over in that somewhat comical fashion as he does. There, like, I just sort of like, okay, that was meant to happen, but still, it got me like really like anxious. I was just sort of like, why can't I beat this guy? What am I doing wrong? It may be somewhat standard by today's standards, if you get what I mean. Not repeating the same word, but I really, even by today's standards, I think this is just a great sequence, and for reasons I'll get into later, and for reasons I already get into in the video. And one thing I was quite self-conscious of, but no one really cares about, is you may notice. Actually, I need to. Can I move that? Yeah, we are. I've forgotten what the shortcuts are. You'll notice here that at this point in the game I already have a lightsaber. That's just because recording this footage, I couldn't just jump straight to this moment. I had to actually start the beginning of the level. I could cheat code my way to the beginning of the level 5. But I had to actually make my way there, so I turned on like God mode. I got the lightsaber out. You don't actually have a lightsaber at this point in the game, and I just cheated my way there. I worried about that sort of thing, but no one really cares. And I do a little joke about cheat codes at the end anyway. Then what I knew when the boss fight was, so just before it started, I turned off the invincibility things and jumped in just to make the footage look somewhat genuine. Right there, there's a... Like, the dialogue at this bit is... I won't mess with the audio. The dialogue at this bit is fine. I'm starting talking about, oh, you feel like it's happening to you. But I think a problem I had at this point is that I do repeat myself a bit too much throughout the whole thing. Like, I find myself saying, again, this isn't blah 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 blah. Like I said. If it's like you've said, then why are you saying it again? And this moment here was just sort of like a elephant in the room moment. I mentioned the woman in fridge trope, which if you're familiar with that mindset, it's the whole thing of like a guy needs if you want to give a guy a motivation, usually what you do is kill the girlfriend or kill the love interest to give the guy motivation. It was made popular by Green Lantern, where his girlfriend was literally like stuffed in a fridge, and yeah, I don't really have a problem with that in this context, but I did still feel like it was an elephant in the room. It clearly is, technically it is, because A, she's not really, Jan at this point isn't really a love interest, and B, spoiler, she isn't dead. She's still alive, but it is clearly she's killed off, quote unquote, to give Kyle determination. And I sort of say, oh yeah, that's a fair assessment, but there is no but. I've mentioned it, then I get on with the rest of the video. It just, I mean, it is a women in fridge trope, but I don't know, it's still used quite well. Yeah, I'm usually the first one to call that sort of, is it sexist? I don't know, whatever. But in this, I do think it genuinely it does work, but again, I'm repeating myself just now, but it is a woman in fridge thing. But it works, you know. Like it's not he's not going off on a. I suppose the difference maybe is that in all those other cases, like it gives the hero more determination to go save the day, whereas in this he goes off to save the day eventually, but at this point he's not going off to save the day. He just wants to murder someone, you know, whether you want to call it payback or revenge, or you took something from me, now I'll take something from you, or however you want to put it. And that's the mindset he's in. In fact, I'd go far to say that this game does more to show the pitfalls of like the dark side than the films do. Like in the films, I don't know about you, but I'm sometimes sort of like, can't you just use the cool lightning and force gripping powers but still be a good guy? You know, I don't really see where the crossover is. And I suppose this game doesn't really do that either, but the idea of just mindlessly going about for revenge and then finding out, oh crap, that was actually a bad thing to do because the sand follows you and you almost bring about the end of whatever you want to call it, the end of civilization, the end of the galaxy. You almost cause the good guys to win yourself by your own foolishness or your own desire for revenge. And I just think that's just one of the reasons why I just love this moment. Lots of awkward cuts, like, actually, that reminds me. Here we are. Come, take her. Like, the cut between Kyle here, he moves about awkwardly. This cut here, like, I actually had to do that because in the actual game, like, the camera was, like, way back because, like, Kyle's character model was way far back before the cutscene started. Then the camera, it only lasts, like, 2 or 3 frames, but it, like, zooms into this perspective you see right now. And I figured for the video it was a bit too distracting. It was something I was wondering about, like, should I do that? Should I edit their game to make the game look better than it actually is? Yeah, that's one way of putting it, but... And I decided, I don't know, it's my video, I can do whatever the hell I want, and I want it to look better, so I changed it. Right, as opposed to my what makes a good twist video, I do actually have notes this time, so let's just have a wee look. My handwriting is terrible though. Yeah, I mentioned this bit here, I was very, very self-conscious about my bad shooting, where I'm talking about how, oh, this game's a below average FPS, so people might say, because did I actually kill anyone? Yeah, I killed that one, but then this just hit him. I killed the other two, but I was quite self-conscious about that. But whatever, who cares? I've come to realise that sort of stuff doesn't really matter. A year into doing this, that sort of stuff doesn't really matter. I feel like I'll mess up the volume here. Like, I repeat the same point like 3 times in one paragraph. Like, you know, there are no personal stakes involved. You don't really feel it. Like, you know, just say it once. Just move on. We get it. And I sometimes feel like there's a little bit of a rhythm I'm trying to do. Like, I can't remember if I mentioned this in another video. I would say one of my biggest faults, even by today's standards, with my writing, is that I'm a little bit of a slave to the rule of 3. There's my Mass Effect and Shovel Knight video in particular, like the intros of those. I'm a bit of a slave to the rule of 3, and it's just sort of like a bit of a je ne sais quoi thing. I sort of feel like the rhythm needs that for it to work. Like, I can't really explain why. And this little bit here I was a bit self-conscious about because, again, Kevin Schilder, the co-project lead, was seeing it. And I just sort of badmouthed the game here. I'm just sort of like, oh yeah, it's just sort of hand-waved away, this whole inner turmoil. But he didn't bring it up. He seemed like a nice enough guy. I don't really think he cared. This game was over 10 years ago. I think he's moved on to bigger and better things since then. Yeah, usually something I'm usually quite a bit, even today, especially today, something I really do try to put effort into is the music I use in the background. In this game, I don't really do that. I barely notice it because It's just background music, like the music in the game kind of is. It's not really meant to be like catchy 8-bit stuff. It's just background stuff, and it works fine. You don't really notice it at this point. I should maybe update my YouTube playlist. I sometimes update a playlist where it's like, whenever I use a piece of music, I put it in because I get a lot of comments about, oh, what's this song or what's that song. People don't seem to read the video description or look at the end, so they just keep asking. Anyway, I'm not annoyed. I'm just joking. But I felt a little silly putting this in that playlist because I don't know. No one's coming to listen to the ambient background noise of the Jedi Outcast games. Not that it's bad by any means. It's just not like you're not going to put it in your iPod and exercise to it or anything. It is what it is. The part I'm literally just going off my notes just now. Right, this part here I'll mess about with the audio. There was a touch of laziness there, not in a bad way, not in like I should have done better. Is that I forget the line of dialogue that comes before it. Something along the lines of and I mentioned Jedi. I can't. No. What was that? When I talk about how Jedi Outcast isn't the first game to do this, the line before that is this short sequence. But the original recording was this short sequence in Jedi Outcast has more meaning than all of Jedi Academy put together. Jedi Outcast isn't the first game. I say the word Jedi Outcast a bit too much, so I cut. You may have noticed it when I fiddled with the audio there, that I say this short sequence, quick cut, has more blah 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 than all of Jedi Academy put together. You may have noticed it, maybe you didn't. Who cares? I just thought it was an interesting anecdote. That's what this whole thing's about. The bit with the TV tropes bit I feel like could have been done better. Where I just I go on I go on tvtropes.com and just scroll down, and it's too zoomed in. I don't know. It could have been done a lot better. I could have just done a wide shot. It didn't need to scroll. I like a little bit of movement in my little cut-ins, but that could have been better. And I felt like a little bit of a elephant in the room, at least by my standards, is using some Mega Man footage because Ego Raptor did that fantastic sequelitis video where Mega Man X starts off with an unbeatable boss battle. But I would still say at least by my standards, the Jedi Knight one's better. I mean, Ego Raptor basically also says that he played it when he was young, and it had a similar effect to him than the Jedi Knight one did to me. I'd probably still say Mega Man's a better game, and that's not my footage. I like to try and call that out whenever I can. Recently, I did a Great Levels video on Dark Souls where I literally had to spend pretty much all day. I had 2 different characters, one at the beginning and one about halfway through a New Game Plus, and I just spent an entire day recording all the footage. I didn't use Seath. Actually, I did use a little Seath Ascalis footage in my Dark Souls video, but I also recorded myself fighting Seath Ascalis, I think, because just in case, especially the first time you fight him, the unbeatable boss battle bit, because just in case I needed to use that footage again. Because, you can't just load up a level. If you know Dark Souls, you can't just load up a level and get back into it. Everything's so far away. And if I wanted this footage for this video, I would have had to play it for an entire day or 2 just to get that one little bit, and at that time it wasn't really something I was willing to do. Yeah, and one other bit that's not mine I took from online is that. I just took it from like a YouTube video or something. It's food. I've never actually finished. I've got it on Steam. I got it for like £1 on sale or something. And I played a bit of it, and it's just, I don't know, it's quite old. I just couldn't get into it. And I think that was just about do it. Oh, the ending actually a fair bit to say about. Like, this was the first time I. No, that's not true. The what makes a good twist I tried to be comedic with, and I quite like this ending. I feel like my voice acting could have been a bit better when I was like, oh, I got him. It's, I don't know, a little stilted, but I like this. I like this sort of cut there just to the music. I think it works quite well. Anyway, did I forget to give credit? Oh, that'll be annoying if I did. Yeah, additional footage. I think Damon Forever is just the Dark Souls guy. Oh well, that's annoying. Again, maybe no one cares, but and this was the first time I used like the ending sting thing here. Like, it's something I've always not really known what to do with. It's a little bog standard, but what are you gonna do? And I stuck with this sort of format for quite a while. I found that I put the stories in open world games and great levels, the swapper. Very, very few people ever actually click on them from here, because usually as soon as the video ends, like the credits start, it cuts to black, people just quit. People just click off the video. They don't wait until the very end here. And something I also have a problem with, I put the Twitter icon up, but I still don't know how to make someone click into my Twitter account from like the annotations. Even to this day, I just sort of gave up. I had someone, I think someone sent a message telling me how to do it, but I tried and it didn't work. You know, whatever. I somewhat recently, I think it was back in like December with my Wolfenstein video, I started changing that. Maybe I think a bit before that actually. Well, I changed how this was, but this is the way it was for quite a while. I think from like my Call of Cthulhu video, I started actually saying like, you know, having a little speech at the end saying, "Oh, please subscribe" and all that. But I figured like, oh, I'll talk more about that when I actually do change it. But I've stopped after a while because I didn't feel like it was working. I think that's just about everything. A shorter video this time. I'm happy with this video. I'm happy how it turned out. I feel like the script could have been a touch better. I just a couple little changes, just a couple little cuts, but apart from that, it all works out quite well. Mark Hamill seems happy. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a patron, and I'll see you next time.